The SADC mission in Mozambique, deployed since July 2021 to help fight an ISIS-linked insurgency, with additional bilateral cooperation with Rwanda, highlighted as a game-changing approach in the fight against terrorism.
Para Moçambique, essa experiência reveste-se de valor acrescido.
For Mozambique, this experience is vested with added value, as presently we are fighting terrorism by combining SADC regional multilateral efforts with bilateral efforts between Mozambique and Rwanda, and together we are successfully fighting terrorism. Instead of large investments that have been made globally by some countries, including Africans, for many years, we suggest that this model is considered. It is simple to monitor, it communicates with ease, and has achieved success very quickly.
He called for more support to countries like Mozambique so that terrorism can be eradicated from the region.
Para terminar, gostaria de fazer o seguinte apelo.
I would like to make the following appeal. The over-indebtedness of many low and middle-income developing countries is not only reducing the ability of these countries to finance essential activities and their economies, including responding effectively to the impacts of various shocks arising from climate change and man-made crises. The situation makes these countries increasingly vulnerable to extremism, terrorism, and other violent conflicts.
The Council also heard how the Libyan crisis of 2011 led to an explosion of terrorist activity across Africa, allowing for its proliferation in large swaths of the Sahel, with the arrival of thousands of foreign fighters and combatants, resulting in the uncontrollable circulation of weapons. As terrorism spreads its tentacles across the continent,
the terrorist contingent continues broadening in almost all regions of Africa. I will spare no effort to make sure that the African Union roadmap that I have the honor of monitoring since the months of February, and it is on the practical measures to implement to silence the guns in Africa by 2030. I'll make sure that it becomes a reality. Mr. President, Africa continues witnessing persistent terrorism. It impacts the socioeconomic and political aspects of countries, of regions, and of the continent as a whole.
As situations of poverty, unemployment and unconstitutional changes in government continue to lay a fertile ground for the creeping expansion of terrorist groups, exacerbated by online platforms that spread violent ideologies even further.
Terrorism represents the denial and destruction of human rights, and so the fight against it will never succeed if we perpetuate the same denial and destruction. Evidence shows that counter-terrorism efforts are solely security-focused rather than human rights-based can inadvertently increase marginalization and exclusion and make the situation even worse. The proposed new agenda for peace will set out a holistic and comprehensive approach to building more peaceful and stable societies in which terror and violent extremism have no home.
The UN chief has also expressed support for the use of UN-assessed contributions to fund counter-terrorism initiatives in Africa. Shervin Brycepees, SABC News, New York.